Okay, today Rosie gets to do her walk around the sun because she turned 11 years old yesterday. And she's gonna start with her first walk around the sun. Let's sing. The earth goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. Walk on the line. Right here. 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And she turned 1. And in that first year, this is a story of Rosie who never gives up and never stops fighting for what she thinks the world should be like. She was born very premature. She was so tiny. She had to stay in the hospital in the NICU for 5.5 months. The doctor said that maybe she only had a 30% chance of surviving. She lived in the hospital most of the first year. When she was about 6 months old, she got to come home, but she had a lot of medical things that she was hooked up to with machines. See, there's machines to help her breathe. Oh, it was so scary.
You know how big her foot was? It was that tiny, the size of your fingernail.
Oh my goodness.
So tiny.
And she decided she'd rather do things like breathe and eat, and she was totally too free by her first birthday. And then she started her second trip. Walk on that one. Goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And she turned 2. And over that year, she learned to crawl and play just like any other child. Her favorite things were books, animals, music, food, and exploring new things. She learned to walk around the time she turned 2, which is when she started Montessori. Wow. And then she started her third trip around the sun. The earth goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And she turned 3. And by the time she was 3, she really started enjoying going to new places like museums and national parks, swimming, and visiting her family all over the country and in Mexico. Then she started her 4th trip. The earth goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And she turned 4. And when she was 4, she started to ride horses, and she did cheerleading, and she was competing until she was about 10. She also found out she loves birds, which is her favorite animal to this day. And then she started her 5th trip. The earth goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And she turned 5. Rosie started to get pretty good at talking to people and reading. She took a lot of trips. Her favorite trip was to visit her cousins in California and go to Disneyland, and the happiest place on earth is there. That's her favorite vacation destination. And then she started her 6th trip. The earth goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. Well, when she turned 6, she started ballet lessons and got into opera. and to art, especially Van Gogh. She loves opera and can sing you Mozart's Magic Flute in a few different languages. Maybe we'll get her to do that for us. Whoa! She taught herself, and then she started her 7th trip.
The earth
Goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And she turned 7. When she was 7, that's when the pandemic started. But she kept busy that year by playing in the garden, swimming a lot, visiting lots of national parks in California, Utah, Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico. Some of the places she's been has been Yosemite, Bryce Canyon, Goblin Valley, Zion, Yellowstone in Utah. She loves camping and dreams of owning her own camper van someday to take trips. Then she started her 8th trip. The earth goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And when she turned 8, the world was mostly still recovering from that crazy pandemic, but she didn't let that stop her. She visited the zoo. This is the Place Monument, the aquarium, and all the children's museums that they could find. She loves going to Thanksgiving Point, so they got a pass and visited all the venues. And then she started her 9th year, 9th trip. Sun, the sun, the earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And she turned 9. And when she was 9, they took a couple of weeks and drove up the entire Pacific coast, stopping at most of the famous beaches. That year, she decided she wanted to learn about video games. Turns out she's kind of a genius at them and can beat most games in just a few weeks. She's amazing. She loves Super Mario Brothers. And then she started her 10th trip. The earth goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. And she turned 10. She threw a Mario party and traveled to Disney parks and the beach. I bet we can find them on here. They love seeing the peacocks on the beach near Cape Carnival. They also went to San Diego, and Rosie got to live her dream of going to SeaWorld. And then she started her 11th trip. The earth goes around the sun, the sun. The earth goes around the sun. It takes 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days. She turned 11 yesterday. She still loves horses and animals, especially birds. She loves art, music, especially the opera. Whoa. Her favorites are just so many. She loves movies and travel, camping and cooking. When she grows up, she wants to own her own restaurant. Her parents are so proud of her and all that she's accomplished, and we are too. So now we're going to acknowledge her.